Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Thought I'd make a video today reviewing my Red Wing Iron Ranger boots. These are my favorite pair of boots that I own. They are actually the Iron Ranger 4556s. They were a collaboration with Brooks Brothers from a few years ago, and I bought them I think in 2020. They were on clearance, so I really didn't pay a whole lot for them. I think I paid $100 or maybe $110 for them total. And they are my favorite pair of boots. I want to talk about why and compare them to some of the other Iron Rangers you can buy today. And really, for me, it comes down to a few things. Number one, I really love the leather on these boots. I want to talk about that. I really love the soles that I have on these right now. They are the Vibram mini lug soles. And I really love the fit of these boots. So I want to talk about those three things today. If you're in the market for Iron Rangers, I have some thoughts because I bought a few pairs over the years and learned a lot along the way. So first and foremost, I think the leather on these boots is absolutely fantastic. This is the antique brown or cactus brown leather. It's very similar to the copper rough and tough leather, and I do have a pair of the Chelsea Weekender boots in copper rough and tough. Try to show you a comparison between the two. They look very similar. Out of the box, I think both of these boots were a little bit lighter in color, but there's just a little bit more kind of orangey, rusty color in the Iron Rangers, in the antique brown, and I really, really like that. It just gives them such a unique color. They scuff up, and you can, that rustiness kind of shines through. It's really, really nice. I've conditioned these a couple of times with the Red Wing mink oil, and they've darkened up a bit, but that color and that nice rustiness has remained. Just love the leather. You're probably not going to find these online unless maybe you find a pair on eBay. I've seen some that people are asking ridiculous prices because they're discontinued. But if you like this leather, try the Red Wing Iron Rangers in copper rough and tough. The 8085s, I believe, are very similar to this. I've also had a pair of the 8111s, amber harness leather, and they are darker. So to me, if you're on the fence one way or the other between those two, I would go with the copper rough and tough. They're a little bit lighter, and realize that especially if you condition them, they're going to darken up over time. And to me, it's better to get a boot that's a little bit lighter than you want and have it darken versus trying to buy a boot that's the exact color you want and then be disappointed later on when it darkens up, because that may happen. So to me, this is the best leather. But like I said, if you're looking for one like this, go with the copper rough and tough. The next thing I want to talk about is the sole. Now, when I bought these, they actually had the heavy full lug Vibram soles on them. And it made them really unique looking. And on one hand, I'm like, wow, those soles are awesome. And they look different from the mini lug soles that you get and different from the cork soles. And actually, the other pair of Red Wings that I own have the cork soles, which look more similar to this. So I thought, oh, I'm just going to leave those heavy lug soles on them and I'll wear them outside or I'll wear them hiking or whatever. But what I ended up doing is saying, I really love this leather and I really love the fit of these boots, and I like to wear them more than just outside or during the wintertime. because they're almost like snow boots with the full lug soles on them. So I spent the money. I sent them away to Red Wing about a year ago, and I got the mini lug Vibram soles that you normally see with Red Wing boots that you buy today. So I know that that made them look a little less unique than they did initially, but it definitely allowed me to wear them a lot more. I can wear them to work. I can wear them to out to dinner. I can wear them out for a night on the town, and they're just not quite as chunky. They're a little more sleek. Notice too that these boots have the eyelets all the way up. There's no speed laces on these Red Wings, which I really like. Gives them a little bit more sleekness as well. So overall, I just felt like these soles are going to give me a lot more versatility in the boot. So I think I really made a good decision on that one, and I wear them all the time now with that sole. The other thing about these boots is that they are a different size than my original Iron Rangers. So when I first bought a pair of Iron Rangers, I think it was in 2013, a long time ago, and I got fitted for them in a Red Wing store, and I remember they were kind of on the fence. I think I was a little bit in between in sizing. I'm normally an 11.5 or 12 in sneakers, but they told me an 11 should fit, and I tried an 11 on, and it fit pretty well. And I'm like, you know what? This fits good. I think I'll take it. And I was pretty quick to buy the 11s, knowing that you're supposed to probably size a half size down. But over time, as I broke those in, I realized they were a little bit big. And even though I wear an 11.5 or 12 in sneakers, an 11 in Iron Rangers was still pretty big. And I always kind of regretted that. Like, gee, I wish these were just a little bit smaller. And I felt like, when you have a boot that's a little bit big, some people might say, well, if you wear thick socks or something, you want a little extra room. To me, though, if you have a lot of extra room in this toe box, the leather is not going to be able to shape around your foot quite as well, and the creasing gets a little bit worse when there's extra room up here. You want your foot to be really filling in this space, and the leather will fit around it, versus if it's not there and the leather has to, when you're walking, the leather kind of crunches down every time to get to your foot. The creasing is going to be a little bit worse. So for me, when I ordered these boots, I said, you know what, I'm going to try a 10.5 and see what happens. And they were on like a final sale type situation, so I couldn't return them. But it was good news because the 10.5s were snug, but they still fit. And that's from someone who is normally an 11.5 or 12. So a full size or a full size and a half down from my regular size, and they still fit me. So my point is, be careful on the sizing. If you're looking to buy a pair, try on multiple sizes, and don't assume just because one feels good that the next size down may not. If your toes are crunched up in the front of the boot, obviously that's too small. But these boots are very stiff when you buy them. So you might try a pair on and they might feel like, wow, they really are snug because the leather is so stiff. But try a new size. Try a size down from there. Try another size down, because what you might find is you still have plenty of room. Even though they feel snug, the next size down might still have plenty of room, because these boots are big. And you don't want to get a boot that has trouble shaping your foot because there's a lot of extra room in there. You want them to be really snug. You don't want your toes to be pressing up against the front of the boot. But you want them to be snug because they're going to stretch out and they're going to shape and form to your foot. And when they do that, they're going to be the most comfortable pair of boots you ever owned. But until then, you got to break them in. So the break-in period for these was worse than my first ones, but it paid off even more because they shaped my foot, and the creasing is not nearly as bad as my first pair of Red Wings. These the crease just looks a little bit more distributed, and there's multiple creases on the front of the boot that are a little less noticeable versus having, you know, something a little more extreme. So the fit on these, perfect. I love the leather, and the sole that I put on there allows me to wear these pretty much anywhere I want. So all said and done, they are like my holy grail boot. Like I said, if you're looking for a pair of these, check eBay, but more than likely you're going to have to buy a pair of copper rough and tufts if you want a leather to look like this for a reasonable price. I would favor copper rough and tough over the amber harness. I know there's other leathers, but if you're looking for a brown pair between copper rough and tough and the amber harness leather, I would definitely go with the copper rough and tough. Personally, I like the lighter color, but also I feel like even if you don't like the lighter color, they're going to darken up a little bit anyway. And my amber harnesses over the years, I mean, I've had them again since 2013 or so. The amber harness ones have really darkened, and I just feel like they're a little too dark for me. But the copper rough and tough got darker, but they still have that nice color shining through. So I'd recommend these over, but to each his own, you know, whatever you like. So that's about it. Let me know if I was crazy for switching out the soles. Let me know what you think of the leather and how it's aging. Let me know if you guys have any pairs of these. I don't see them very often online, but they are definitely one of the best pairs of Red Wings or best pairs of Iron Rangers that Red Wing put out. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.